The Motherworld's forces were commanded by a young general named Belisarius.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Spoiler alert.
They gave me the name Archelaus. Began my training and education in the histories of the Motherworld.
Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire, Zack Snyder's most recent epic, is now available. Packed with vast world building and spectacular action, it also features one very dramatic cliffhanger. You may have missed some of the finer points of what precisely happens in the Rebel Moon conclusion because there was so much going on. Here's where we get involved. We've dissected the science fiction movie's plot points to clarify what happens in the climax and how it relates to Rebel Moon. Part 2, The Scargiver, the follow-up. Needless to say, there will be major Rebel Moon. Part 1 spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the movie yet, go back. If you're up to date, everything you require can be found in this video. Rebel Moon has a very dramatic conclusion. The group leaves to complete Kai's business after he tells them he needs to drop off some merchandise before turning rebel.
There's one complication. Shite in the cargo hold.
But Korra knows right away that they've been duped when they get there. Admiral Noble shows up just before the squad is about to be taken prisoner by the Motherworld. It is revealed that Korra is the Scargiver herself, though we are not entirely sure what that implies just yet. He is particularly happy to have Korra under his care. Kai tells Korra that the Motherworld destroyed his home planet, and that's why he betrayed them.
They tortured every man, woman, and child.
He believes Korra and her new pals are the kind of individuals who won't even make it into history books. So rather than seeking retribution, he decided it's safer to be on the right side of history. Kai assigns Goner, the gullible farmer who is infatuated with Korra, the mission of eliminating all the rebels, starting with Korra. Goner struggles to do it, but in a flash of boldness, he frees Korra from the contraption that is holding her. A massive battle breaks out, and all the other rebels are also set free in the ensuing turmoil. After a fierce struggle, Korra and Noble engage in a head-to-head showdown. Noble is vanquished by Korra and appears to be dead as he falls deep below. As the other blood axes are being gunned down, Darien is shot and killed while attempting to take out a pilot. But in his final act, he saves the others by killing the pilot and bringing his ship to the ground. After everything is said and done, Korra, Goner, Turok, Nemesis, Mylius, and General Titus depart for Velt. There, Turok says, "That would have been a beautiful place to die."
This would have been a beautiful place to die.
A moment later, we see Jimmy standing in a field, his antlers growing back. The action isn't quite over, even if it looks like the movie is ending there. Noble's body is recovered from the scene of his fall, and he is subsequently connected to a device via some odd-looking cords. The red priest-like beings that we've seen throughout the film are all around him, and they're doing something extremely enigmatic to him. Noble is sent to what appears to be another dimension of reality, where he encounters the eerie regent Belisarius. As the Motherworld's king and Korra's adoptive father, Belisarius wants her back to him so he can publicly execute her.
So that I may crucify her in the shadow of the Senate.
Belisarius says that if Noble is unable to deliver Korra, he will be publicly executed. Then, screaming, Noble returns to the operating table, having survived his trauma. Really, who is Korra? It's evident from the outset that Korra is no ordinary Motherworld defector. Rather, she is the adoptive daughter of Belisarius,
Daughter of a decorated commander.
the ruthless commander who destroyed her home planet, killed her family, and abducted her as a young girl. She also looked out for Princess Issa, who was killed. But there's more to the tale than that. We also find out that Korra goes by Arthelais and that she's well known.
They gave me the name Archelaus.
In addition, she is the mysterious Scargiver, the name of the forthcoming Part 2. What's the meaning of it all? Though the solutions are still unknown, the sequel should contain universe-shattering revelations. Admiral Noble, is he dead? Those priests' eerie intervention allows Noble to survive the events of the film despite his grievous injuries. In order to communicate with Belisarius, they connect him to a machine of some sort and take him to another realm. He screams as he snaps back to consciousness. Whatever had transpired seemed to have healed his wounds and given him new life. That might not last long, though, since Belisarius threatens to publicly execute Noble if he is unable to apprehend Korra. Suck it up. At the end, is that Belisarius? What is his desire? In fact, in the last moments of the film, Noble is brought to see none other than Belisarius himself. Now, under inexplicable circumstances, Belisarius is in charge of the Motherworld. We're guessing that his transition from commander to regent has something to do with the king's passing. It appears that Belisarius wants Korra, his daughter, back, but not in a fatherly way. way. In reality, he wants Cora so he can kill her in public. Dark and menacing. What is meant by the Scargiver? The significance of the Scargiver name is still unknown. Cora has been given this title, but it's not entirely apparent what she did to deserve it at this point. Still, as Part 2 is called the Scargiver, we should have answers shortly. How's the king doing? Noble claims that the reason behind the king's death was his act of generosity towards an extraterrestrial. Beyond that, the fate of the fallen king is still not quite clear. What is Princess Issa's situation? The young Princess Issa possessed magical abilities, as seen in a flashback, as she revived a bird in front of Cora. It appears that Issa had the same ability as the princess, who was named after an old queen called Life Giver, who was thought to have the capacity to grant life. Regretfully, Issa passed away before to the events in Part 1. How's Velt going to fare? The first part of the story begins with the Mother World arriving to conquer the tranquil farming moon of Velt. Nevertheless, the rebels believe Velt will be secure following Noble's purported demise. As they return to the moon, Turok muses that it would have been a lovely place to pass away. In the follow-up, though, he might get his desire.
Arthelaus. The biggest prize of them all